I'm doing this at like 2 in the morning because I forgot about it and had to play a Balatro set, and then was also sort of coaching Kumi. Okay, good. Freeze the apple. Freeze apples on turns 1 and 2. Also, I'm going to be whispering because, again, it's 2 in the morning, so. And also, I'm going to make this quick. I'll work against Puppy Pack. I forgot about that. I did watch this game once. Okay, buy the duck. Maybe both ducks. Just one's fine, yeah. I guess because you're still rolling for things, but. Okay, at this point, like. When you get to 3 gold, you're like obviously not getting the beaver level at this point. Like at this point, you know, like, okay, you're not gonna have the beaver level unless you roll into 2 of them. Then you can have it frozen, but that's like pretty unlikely. So at this point, like on this roll, you're just taking the best unit, right? Because you want a board of 5 units. Like even if it's a throw round, you still want 5 units total because of the sell value, right? Like 5 units, like you can stack units and stuff, but you don't ever want to be just like running a 4 squad because then you just like wasted a lot of gold. Like by 5 units, like if you had, if you stack these ducks, that still counts as 5 units, even if there's only technically 4 pets on your board. You need to have bought at least 5 units. So we definitely just want to buy the pigeon here. Because going into, like going into next round down just like quite a bit of gold. Also, this beaver, like, why are we freezing it? Realistically, are we ever buying this beaver? Like, we don't have another one. And we'd have to spend 6 gold on it next turn to get the tier up. And then, like, we have 4 gold left to buy the tier ups. And it's like, it just makes it really awkward. So I think that, like, turn 1 was just kind of played wrong. Like, you always want to make sure you bought at least 5 pets, no matter what. We lose the round. So then the beaver, we buy it, but it, like, feels really bad because it's like we don't even have the triple yet. And tier 1s are terrible. Like, tier 1, my goal on turn 3 is to get rid of all the tier 1s I can. Unless I have, like, a big, if I have, like, a level 2 cricket, and sometimes I'll keep it. Or a level 2 pig, I'll keep it till turn 5 because the sell gold's more valuable then. But that's beside the point. The point is, I'm not buying new tier 1s on turn 3. Because it just, like, feels bad. It's just a waste of gold. And, like, your odds of hitting the triple aren't that high. It's, like, lower than it was last turn. And even if we do, we're going to be, like, so low on gold that it's going to be, like, hard to ever even buy it. So, it just feels bad. Okay, but we hit Scalar and Snail, which is good. Okay. Probably just sell both of these beavers and then probably just buy the swan. The swan's like a buff target, so it's like good enough. That's exactly what we do. Beautiful. Nice. Love to see it. Good. Okay. Nice. We lose that round. They have a lot of tempo, so we like aren't really expecting to win these rounds. But also, like, our board is awkward because we spent too much gold on round 3 on the beavers. Then it's like our board is just like we're playing from behind, because like this game we just on turn 2 we messed up and like now we're gonna be behind the entire game because of it. Because it just like flows off the rhythm of the game, kind of, right? Like, because your gold kind of flows from like turn to turn, if you know what I mean. That sounds weird, but like, like turn 1 and turn 1 you buy some pets, turn 2 you finish off filling up your board, and it passes down 5 gold to the next turn, right? Usually, unless you get a tier up, then it's like 1 less, but or if you get 2 tier ups, then it's 2 less, but you're passing gold the next turn, so you have like 13 gold. At a minimum, you should have like 13 gold. No, you should have 14 at a minimum on turn 3 if you're like selling both your tier ups or if you're just selling your tier 1s. This kind of is like a confusing way to explain this, but and then you can use that gold to like buy your tier 3 units that you got from the tier ups and the good tier 2 units, which is like these, but we can get like more of them. Ignore that. Anyway, also these snails, like we have a 4/4 snail. Putting more attack on this snail doesn't matter because eventually we're stacking these snails. Like we want the big snail to be bigger, so just put it in the front, or like at the front of the snail line, so that the other 2 snails hit it. Like we just give up on some stats here, which is annoying. We could have buffed up our snail. Instead of having 2 snails with 4 attack, we could have 1 with 6 attack. Okay, find rabbit and cake. Also, I think we just stacked wrong there. Yeah. Again, stack. I think I've told you this before, but always, if you're stacking units on your board, stack onto the big unit. Otherwise, you are losing stats. Because, okay, so right now, if we stacked this snail, or even this snail, onto this snail, it would be a 5/5, and then the other one would make it a 6/6. Let's see what it ends up actually being. A 6/5. We missed out on 1 stat, which sounds like not a lot, but it definitely matters. Because that's literally the whole goal of this game is just to find all of the little, things you can find it, the tiny little micro adjustments to optimize your gold to get the most stats possible using the gold that you have. It's even something like losing 1 stat there is it still matters, even if it feels like it doesn't. I also probably, I don't know, we have a lot that we're looking for, but I'd probably freeze the salad. We don't have too many bad hits with it, so I'd probably just freeze it. I really like salads on turns 5 and 6. Okay. Loses that round. Okay, and at a certain point, at some point we're gonna have to sell out of this snail. So, which I don't think it's maybe now, but we definitely want salads. I guess we get a cake, which is pretty good, but I don't want this giraffe. This giraffe seems terrible to me. We're already behind, so I don't really want to invest more into scaling. We need to buy things onto our board that will do things quickly, because we're kind of just losing rounds here. We actually did stabilize, which is good, but they still could definitely just come back. They're getting mole set up. They didn't really have it ready yet. We end up finding the level on it, but I don't know, the giraffes, it's pretty late to be going for giraffe level. So and we rolled a lot this turn. I didn't see what all we skipped, but did we skip any pairs? Let me watch the turn back so I can actually see what happened. Yeah, okay, we skipped a pair. Okay, don't skip pairs. Turn 7 and 8, you are buying every pair you see. I don't care. I don't care what's going on, you're buying every pair you see. If you see a pair, you buy a pair. Okay, he's going with lobster, so he's probably trying to go into more of he's trying to go into a pivot board. Okay, we sell the snail now. That's good. Also, we don't care too much about this rabbit anymore. It's giving us 2 health every turn. Okay, yeah, he goes way into a pivot board. So at this point, we can play ultra greedy. We do not care about winning rounds at all right now, because we're going to. And, we don't have to worry about that even a little bit. We know we're going to win rounds. Take the rabbit level and then just sell the rabbit and buy the monkey. Or actually, take the rabbit level and then rip the sushi and then sell the rabbit. Right, we're just doing that so we can see a tier up. Okay, we find a cat. That's even better. Yeah, at this point, sell him. Buy the cat, buy the sushi. What are we doing? What possibly are we doing? What? Bro. Oh. Okay, so normally it's a bit too late to buy cat here. But the thing is, your opponent literally has no board, right? So I guess you might not know what they're doing here, but what they're doing is not strictly terrible. They're buying every can they see, and they will buy every lobster they see. And then they'll play a few turns with it. In 2 turns, these are both going to give them a tier up. So they'll get a bunch of tier 6s, and then everything they buy on board gets a bunch of stats. So they are just going to buy a brand new board, and it'll just immediately have a ton of stats. So just take the cat here. You kind of have to figure out their goal, and their goal here is they're gonna try to, they're gonna do something later that'll be big. And so our goal is just play super greedy, because right now they are just giving us 2 turns to do whatever we want for free, and they're not gonna pretty much contest at all. So we can just buy every bit of scaling we can possibly get, right? We can buy the cat, we can rip the sushi, and then we can sell the rabbit and buy the monkey and buy any other food we see. Like, we can just, and that monkey does nothing. Like, there's no reason to stack it. Okay, we find another monkey, but that's lucky. And like, okay, what are we doing? Why did we buy a leopard? What was the goal with this leopard? What possibly are we trying to do with the leopard? If we're not fronting the leopard, then what's the point, right? Like, the only reason I could see buying leopards, like, okay, we have monkey, so buying leopard, we can like super buff the leopard so that it'll be doing like massive snipes, which is like, okay, whatever, sure. I think cat would have been better, but whatever, it's an idea. We're buffing a swan? Swan does nothing. Swan literally has no ability. Like, swan is the same as buffing a duck, right? None of your units have abilities except the leopard when you're in battle, right? It's like when you're thinking about what to buff, generally it kind of matters like what units you already have big. But if you're keeping a unit on board, then you just want to buff whatever has like the best stat boosted ability. So like what I mean by that is like no matter how many stats you have on this swan, it's going to give you 2 gold at the start of your turn. But more importantly, what is it doing in battle? Nothing. Skunk. Okay, it's doing something in battle. But does its amount of stats ever matter towards what it's doing? No, not once, not ever. The leopard, its ability will be stronger if it has more stats, right? And like the leopard's a pretty obvious one because it like literally its ability is a percentage of its, attack. But then let's look at something like a camel. Camel, if it gets more stats, it'll be able to swing more times, meaning it'll get to trigger its herd ability more times. It's like things like that, right? Same with peacock. Different things like that. So if you have a unit that, the stats actually matter on, you should definitely be putting it on it. Otherwise, what the crap is the point of this leopard? Like, what possibly are we thinking of doing with this leopard? A 5 damage snipe? Great, you invented a worse crocodile that doesn't hit the back, it just hits randomly. Which I guess you might have thought, like, I guess the defense for it is probably like you assumed they were just like giving up, which is why they had this board. It's the only defense I can come up with is like you thought they were giving up, so you're just like buying whatever. Also, I don't like this. It's so late. We do not need cake. This cake is giving us like half of a level 1 monkey buff every turn, which is like just not worth it. Like, we want to sell this rabbit and get a real unit on board. We just don't really care about the scaling. Like next turn, like this turn, it's fine to keep it. But I mean, actually, I would have already sold it if it were me playing this game. But it's beside the point. Again, buff the leopard, please. So then this turn, they just bought a whole new board. They actually could have waited another turn, but they don't. And they now have an elephant seal, which is pretty scary because that unit's really strong. We have a level 2 leopard now. We could have had 8 more stats on this leopard, meaning every snipe could have been doing 4 more damage. So it could have been doing 8 more total damage in snipes that we're just not doing, which would have been a lot. We could have been doing 10 damage snipes, which is like very strong. But instead we chose to buff the swan for 2 more turns, which, doesn't accomplish anything. So that's cool, I guess. I'm really mad about the leopard. This leopard's pissing me off. Okay, and then they gave up. Okay, weird. Yeah, I don't know what your opponent was doing. They maybe have autism, potentially. But there was definitely things that you should have done better. Anyway, okay. Enjoy. No, wait, this is not what I was looking for. Where? Oh, here.